I was always the one that just isolated myself from everybody and just didn't fit in. So it was a struggle. I was raised well. I was definitely taught right from wrong from my parents. They had good morals. I remember I was institutionalized a lot. I would see counselors at every one of those places and they would say, "You seem like a nice kid. If you just didn't drink or do drugs, I think your life would be okay." And I wouldn't listen to another word they said because I believed I was only okay when I was intoxicated. If I'm not high, if I'm not drunk, then I don't feel okay. So I wouldn't listen to anything else they said. In 1995, I was miserable and I couldn't stay sober. I met a bunch of young people at this program and they were happy. They were going out to clubs and just loving life, and I didn't understand how they were doing it. I just felt like, they probably weren't as bad of an alcoholic or a drug addict as I was. And one night, one of the guys had his sponsor speaking at one of these meetings, and his sponsor introduced himself as a recovered person, and that the problem had been removed from him, and that he was living happy, joyous, and free, and that he was just living like normal people and had no desire to pick up a drink or a drug. So I went to talk to this gentleman. At some point, probably after about 2 hours, I finally asked him, you're just like me. How can you say that you are recovered and you're so happy? And he said, "I'm glad you finally asked." He pulled out a big book and he said, "I live this as a design for living, a way of life. And if you live this way of life, you can be recovered and have this same life." And he said, "I'll tell you what, we'll read the book together. And the only stupid question is the one you don't ask. And let's see what happens." And I said, "I'll do this, but it's not going to work for me. I know it's not going to work for me, but I'll cross every T and dot every I. I'll do everything that book says to do." Unbeknownst to me, not believing in God when I got here, I got a God of my understanding, and I recovered. The problem had been removed. I was all of a sudden sharing in meetings and helping people, and my whole life changed. And to this day, I don't understand why. I don't really care why. I just know that there's something mystical about the directions in that book, that something happens to us if we really live it as a way of life. And I'm sold on it for 23 years.